I'm Alan Greeley, and I love thinking and meditating on Scripture. Another word for it, which we don't use very often, is pondering. When the mother of Jesus heard the shepherds retell the vision of the angels' celebratory singing, the Scripture says Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. That alone is my goal with this podcast. I want us to treasure in our hearts what we hear from God and ponder it. It would be an honor to have you listen in and ponder with me. To God be the glory.
You have been so good to me.
Let's ponder the holiday of Thanksgiving. This is the week Thanksgiving is celebrated here in the United States. On Thursday, many of us will get together with loved ones, friends, family, enjoy some turkey, watch some football, play some games, and generally just enjoy a day of rest. It's an amazing holiday, and by far my favorite holiday for all that it stands for. We have so much to be thankful for, and one day is not sufficient to truly live a thankful existence, but that there is a day where we can slow down and at least think about being thankful a little more than normal is most definitely a positive thing. Throughout the day of Thanksgiving, I try to remind myself of all the things that I so easily take for granted, the country that I live in, my jobs over the years that have helped me take care of my family, my lovely wife, my lovely 4 children, my extended family and friends that have been so instrumental in teaching me about Jesus Christ. The list just keeps going and going. But of course, all of those things find their origin in God, who for whatever reason has chosen to bless me with them all. It's such a grand thought. It's tough to wrap your head around this thought that every good thing we have is from God. Every single one. Perhaps the clearest scripture, there's lots of scriptures that point this out, but perhaps the clearest one is James 1:17 that says, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or change. Every good and perfect gift is from God. Think about how remarkable that is for 5 minutes. I dare you to try. Every sustaining breath, every ability that I have, every talent that I have, every family member, friend, food, water, anything that is in the category of good and perfect has its origin with God. Think about the providence that was involved in that, and the power and the might, the knowledge, the foreknowledge, and of course, the love to make it all happen. It goes without saying that we must keep saying it until our dying breath. God is so good. He's so good. And He deserves every thankful thought and word we can muster throughout our lives. What I'd like to do is release a podcast every morning from today, Monday, through Thursday, Thanksgiving morning, and just do some psalm readings. They will be psalms that are especially filled with thanksgivings toward God. We'll do them 4 days in a row, all the way through Thanksgiving morning. They will primarily be just readings, not a lot of commentary involved. And I hope in some small way that it helps your entire week, not just Thanksgiving Day, but the entire week to be filled with thoughts of how awesome and wonderful God is, and just fill your life with more thanksgivings than perhaps it was before. The first psalm that I'd like to read is Psalm 34, the first 8 verses. The superscription says, of David, when he changed his behavior before Abimelech so that he drove him out and he went away. This is referring to a story in 1 Samuel 21. I encourage you to read it. When God got David out of a jam, David was in a real pickle. Have you ever been in a jam? Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't see a way out, but God got you out of it? Have you sung to Him this song? David thought he would lose his life, but when God helped him in his trouble, he wrote these words, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt His name together. I sought the Lord, and He answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all of his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. The next is Psalm 92, the first 4 verses. The superscription of Psalm 92 says, a psalm, a song for the Sabbath. This one was written especially to be sung on a Sabbath day, and I thought this one would be appropriate since the holiday of Thanksgiving is a Sabbath of sorts, which means a rest. I realize it's not a biblical holiday, but it is a day of rest for many of us. And that's what Sabbaths were to the Jews, a day of rest. And on that day of rest, here's what they would have sung. It's good to give thanks to the Lord, to sing praises to your name, O Most High, to declare your steadfast love in the morning and your faithfulness by night, to the music of the lute and the harp, the melody of the lyre. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the work of your hands, I sing for joy. The final psalm for today is Psalm 95, the first 6 verses. There's no superscription on this psalm, but the first 6 verses of Psalm 95 is thinking about the greatness of creation. It calls to mind the mountains, the sea, and the dry land, and just how powerful and awesome God is that he formed all of it. In fact, the psalmist speaks of the creation being held in God's hand. That's how great and magnificent the psalmist considers God, that the depths of the creation are in his very hand. Think about that image. And when the psalmist thinks about the wonder of creation, he cannot help but think about singing to him, praising him, thanking him with these words. Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise. For the Lord is a great God and a great King above all gods. In his hand are the depths of the earth. The height of the mountains are also his. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord, our Maker. More psalms for us to consider on this week of Thanksgiving tomorrow.
There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found something to treasure in your hearts and ponder. The song you've heard is Reckless Love, sung by Praise and Harmony on their album, Resurrecting God. May God's face shine on you always.